Hello, dear people. It's always nice and exciting to bring you trending, exciting, reliable, and authentic happenings in Nigeria and more. And you know that it's been an exciting time since the elections has begun, and from the primaries and all the paparazzis and all the propagandas has been very interesting. And there's something that Obaseki really said. He made a shocking and perhaps an exciting revelation about the election, about his re-election actually. And I think you would like to hear this because it is very, very so insightful and so kind of him to make such a beautiful comment, because of course it is not about being desperate. And he said it that all of this is not about him being desperate. It's just he's trying to do some things that will change the narrative of how things have been in Edo State. Well, I'll bring you details of this revelation that he just made concerning the election. But before then, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please ensure you hit the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell, and don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Okay, guys, let us quickly dive right into the details of this report, and let's hear what Obaseki has to really say. Yes, Obaseki says that he is not desperate. As we gather, the governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, while talking about the preparations for the voting on September 19, said that the All Progressive Congress (APC) has started violence. He sounded the alarm that the opposition party is desperate to return to power, which he lost to the People's Democratic Party (PDP) after his repression from the APC. Obaseki warned against rigging to oppose malfeasance during the election. We also learned that Obaseki said no one can rig the Edo election, that Edo will not allow anyone to rig the election. The governor said he lacked capacity for thugs planning violent elements while contesting elections. He spoke to reporters in Lagos over the past 3.5 years to ease these achievements, electoral promises, and further tensions of voting. The governor was accompanied by his media advisor, Cruz Osage, a successful governor who has worked in the last 4 years. I am not desperate for the job. I can afford to walk away, but I have to defend our millions, Obaseki said. He said that he had focused on the breeding of Edo State, stating that his efforts have yielded dividends for the people. The governor also said that they were talking less and more and working more. Style and pattern of old politics have expired. We are deviating from it. Obaseki said large-scale infrastructure development, regular payment of salaries, and increased internally generated revenue have not been compromised. He also said that the infrastructure battle has opened up the state and attracted investors. He explained that he rejected the notion of ownership of privileged Edo by some, oblivious to the plight of the public. In his view, some charlatans who have not worked in their lives were lying about the administration. He said that the state is not only for politicians, but for those who are entitled to greater dividends of democracy. The governor drew attention to the educational programs, which he said have been praised for its impact on students and the school system. He said the programs have changed to basic education and enhanced teachers training, emphasizing that parents now transfer their children from private to public schools. He also said that he has constructed and renovated more health centers, which cater to the health and the needs of the people. Obaseki, considering the disruptions in the palace of Benin Emperor Oba Ewuare II, said that they were due to opposition. He also explained that their enemies are trying to intimidate their supporters. They are planning a strategy to use federal to intimidate us. Obaseki said the opposition was preparing the ground for anarchy, which would be retaliatory. In Edo, during the election, the federal government should abide to the law of the country, Obaseki explained. He said the difference between him and his key rival, APC's candidate, Pastor Sage Ize-Iyamu, was that he had dedicated to building institutions, creating wealth, and creating an environment that is supportive of job creation. He said that the APC standard carrier cannot know the dynamics and complexities of government and governance as it is not in front, as is not in the front seat. As we gather that Obaseki reacted to the claim that he used a fake academic credentials, he said there is clarification from the university that issued the certificate for him. They were just promoting propaganda on social media. And Obaseki kept on talking and talking, but majorly what caught our attention that brought about this was when he said that he is not desperate for the job, that he can afford to walk away, but he has to defend the money and what the people of the state have worked for over the years. And that has been the challenge he has with Adams Oshiomhole, because he said Adams Oshiomhole wants him to embezzle the state fund and to share it with him. But unfortunately, he said he is ready to serve the people and not to impoverish the people of the state. He said that was how their rift started, and it's up till this very moment no one can actually settle the differences that they had over the past 1 year. And of course, that was the same reason why Oshiomhole decided to go for Pastor Osage Ize-Iyamu, because of all of this that has happened. And all of the things that he said about Ize-Iyamu, he took everything back and said those were not true, that he was actually using them as a strategy for his election so that his candidate could win back then in 2016. So, but now that he knows Ize-Iyamu very well, that he could stand and vouch for him. And remember that earlier today he also said that his godson must have a mental problem as well, just as the godson said his own father, he called Oshiomhole his father, that his father has actually lost, he said because of old age he doesn't behave like he is a young man anymore, that old age has actually affected him. That when he knew him, he used to wear khaki. He said, but right now he now wears safari. And there was a lot of war of words between Adams Oshiomhole and his purported son, Philip Shaibu. But it is all politics, and they are trying to, only the survivor of the fittest. If you can survive it, is all good for you. But all the same, Obaseki is trying to protect the people of Edo State, and only those who understand what governance is would know that Obaseki has actually tried for the people of Edo State. Because I could remember back then in Nigeria that the state where I was then, everyone believed so much that the governor of the state would do well if he returned, and everyone was so eager to vote for him. And when they voted him into power, it was a different story entirely. And just when everyone thought that the opposition party, the member, would be better, when he came the second time, it was also not a good thing to write home about. So really, it is now left for everyone with their conscience on what they can really do. Because if you allow people's influence to get a hold on you, you're likely to lose your chances of getting the opportunity of good governance. Well, like Obaseki said, that a rigging of election will not be allowed in this present time, that no one is going to use federal power for them this time. But really, you cannot say, because once federal is there, we've always seen that play out. If you notice that once the ruling party is in government, most of the states are likely going to be winning elections. Do you really think that it is because the federal has won that that particular seat that is making other states win? They have a way of making things happen for themselves to ensure that most of their party members are the ones occupying other states, just to make governance easy for them. And we just hope that really that the elections will not be rigged in Edo State. But if it's rigged, well, it's all good and fine. But we know rigging is a normal thing in elections in Nigeria. There is hardly an election that's been run in Nigeria that there has been no rigging. But we hope that this one will be a bit different, if not totally, but at least to an extent that there will be less rigging. So, but all the same, we just hope that INEC do their job. Let the election be free, let it be fair, let it be credible. Even when we know it's almost impossible, but of course, we believe the best can always happen. So, guys, thank you so much for staying tuned. Please drop your comments and don't forget to like this video. Do have a pleasant time.